Before we start with the video, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do a quick disclaimer here. I'm using older videos of the White Cliff, except for hold number 5. This to be able to provide you with the best quality content before the tournament start. This means that the spin is going to be the old version of the spin we had in Golf Clash. The thing that you do is that you take the side spin and divide it by 2.33 to get the correct value when it comes to the new side spin. Obviously there will be a new playthrough once the tournament starts, but I do this to be able to provide you with a playthrough before the tournament so we can get cracking with our notes. Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various type of wind here for the Ryder Cup tournament and the full complete White Cliff course. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the best guides on the market by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 300 thumbs up? That would be amazing and I would be very thankful for that. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the elevation and club distance adjustment combined with what ball and club type I would suggest you to use. White Cliff is a tough course, very hard to get shots to drop, and this is what I think at least going to be not as low scoring as we're used to. In the end, let's see and go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're looking to go on the right hand side, and here I would strongly advise you to play with the quarterback. The higher level the better, but we're looking to get the ball as far down the fairway to the right possible. Use as much side spin to the right possible, combined with at least 3 bars of topspin, and again we're starting very close to maximum distance of our club. Red ring by the rough line, we do adjust for a maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. If we are not in maximum distance after our adjustment, we're gonna push ourselves up to max. Now I'm going to go full curl to the right, combined with adding some overpower if I'm only having 3 bars of topspin. If I do have 4 or 5 bars of topspin, I will not use any overpower whatsoever. That's the same when it comes to playing this shot in tailwind. I would not use any overpower there as well, just because then the wind is going to help us do what it's supposed to be doing. And obviously those of you playing with higher level clubs like an Apocalypse or something like that, you can play with that as well. The thing that we do want to get with the quarterback is the curl, but also the accuracy, as that will prevent us from going into the rough on the right with a great shot. Second shot, you can see that I'm saying medium distance plus 20, and the reason I put medium distance and also the plus 20 is due to it all depends on where you're going to be on that hill that is falling further down, further down, further down. So if you are just by the top or like by the start of the rough on this fairway, which is a very long drive, then you play without elevation. If you are just on the top, you play 40% elevation. If you're somewhere in between, which is where we are now, we're gonna play 20% over adjustment here. And obviously the further down you are, the easier this shot is going to be. So I'm using, here we will be using a short iron every single time. And again, the further up you get, the better it's going to be, the easier it's going to be as well. This is a tough par 4, especially if you're not getting the distance after the drive. So make sure you get that, otherwise this will create an issue for you in the tournament. For hole number 2, we are going to use our sniper, and here you can see I'm playing with the sniper level 4, which is not a good club when it comes to having a good ball guideline. I'm using the red ring by the rough line and also adding spin, and you can see that I'm using max left spin combined with topspin here also, because we are so far away that we do need topspin, otherwise we will fall short towards the pin. Then you may be wondering, can't you go further up on the fairway and use backspin? Sure you can, but then it requires that you do have a driver that do have at least 5 to 6 bars of backspin, which is difficult with lower level clubs, as the backspin, you know, the good amount of backspin doesn't really come until a higher level. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 25. Unfortunately, that is not what I'm doing here. I'm just going medium distance here, and that's why we're seeing this ball going left side of the pin. Speed-wise was good though, but in the end, when it comes to playing this shot with a sniper, it's going to be the best way to get to the pin. But the higher level sniper you have, the better ball guideline is what you're going to have as well, and that is going to simplify it a ton for you, because then you can aim directly at the pin and you don't have to guess, as we're gonna have to do with sniper level 4. So to summarize, maximum distance 25% over adjustment, play with a power 1 ball, you don't need to spend any heavy ball on this one, so to speak, and the sniper as a key club. For hole number 3, we are going to go directly over to, what can we call it, the third fairway island that we do have on the right hand side. The further up we get on this island, the better it's going to be, because then we're going to be closer towards the pin. I'm using a Marlin ball here, and I'm using 2.5 bar topspin and then maximum side spin to the left. I would, however, though, do the tweak that I did here to use 2 bars of topspin in tailwind, 2.5 bar topspin in crosswind, and then 3.5 bar topspin in headwind. I would also like you to play with a power 3 ball. First and foremost, due to with the drive in headwind and crosswind, we will then prevent us from having to go with overpower, and in tailwind, obviously, it will make it as easy as we do have it here with a power 0 ball. But especially for the second shot, we will make sure that we do have the distance towards the pin without having to aim towards the pin from a very long range, because being so far away as we are now, it's going to be difficult to get the outcome that we're hoping for, especially when we don't have a 4.5 ball guideline, which we will never get with the Viper, but I'm thinking even with a low level sniper. So if you have a sniper level 7, please use that club. The ball guideline will help you immensely. That one. First shot, the drive, is maximum distance plus 10. So we play slightly downhill. The ball is a little bit more affected by the wind. The second shot is played without elevation. We just play with no elevation, maximum distance number, and you can see here now that, you know, we're not shooting downhill or uphill, so that makes sense that we're not using any elevation whatsoever. And when we don't have the ball guideline, when we're so far away from the pin, obviously getting this close is actually really good, because we're gonna have to guess if we are having the ball guideline to the hole or not, and then with our adjustments. So hole number 3 is going to be difficult. Make sure you pick the right club and ball to increase the possibility for an albatross on this tough par 5, but an eagle is not bad either. But again, club and ball decision is the key. For hole number 4, I strongly advise you to play with the Guardian as a club. And the reason I want you to play with the Guardian is for its backspin. And you don't have to have it in better than level 1 to be able to play. And I do believe that the general player that is playing in Rookie Division is going to have a Guardian in at least level 1. Maximum backspin, and we're using as much side spin to the right combined with that, and we're going to aim just left side of the bunker. You can see that we do have half of the red ring inside the bunker, but more importantly, ball guideline pointing towards the hole. Maximum distance with a 40% over adjustment. Yes, this hole is massively downhill and therefore going to be affected a lot by the wind, and therefore we're playing maximum distance. Coming in close, and we are getting that one to stop for a nice and simple birdie. I'm gonna take this video again because I do want to explain something to you. There is a possibility to bounce on the first fairway over the water and the rough and the sand, but the reason I'm not doing that is because look at where the pin stands. You're basically going to have to come in way from the left to kind of take away the fact that you do have a bunker there, because bouncing on that island, which me that has been playing this hole from 30 even with higher level, like maxed out clubs, the best balls possible, it's sometimes, depending on the wind, very difficult to get the ball to stay away from that bunker. And if you get into that bunker, you need to hit perfect for your second shot, otherwise you will lose a shot. So this way, once again, is the absolute best way to first and foremost go for the hole in one. Second of all, also to secure that we're not making the mistake of getting a par on this par 3, because if we get a par, we will have nothing to do with a top score in this tournament. So let's take a look, and we're gonna start by using 4.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the left using a Titan ball. If you have more topspin, use it. You would like to use at least 6 bars of topspin if possible. That will prevent you from needing overpower and will help you to get down the fairway. Maximum distance and no elevation for this shot, and I'm adding overpower basically only because I have 4.5 bar topspin and I need this ball to go down the fairway basically as far as possible. The further down we get, the closer we're gonna be to the pin, 354 yards. Second shot is going to be very difficult, and this is one of the few par 5s in the whole game I've never dropped for an albatross with this type of play. And the reason for that is, like, we need to play with such a close margin on the rough on the left, and therefore, you know, it's gonna be too risky to do so, because we are then going to be in the rough more times than we're gonna be close to green. So the thing that I'm looking for is to add as much topspin possible and 2 bars of side spin to the left. And now, unfortunately, a great left, and you can see how close I am to the rough there, but managed to stay away a little bit lucky. I'm looking for this ball to get up to the green area. And once again, I'm not looking for an albatross. I'm looking to secure the eagle in the best possible way. And here we do have the wedge. You know, it's a short wedge. And make sure you do slightly adjust for it. But in the end, the key here is to get the ball up to the green area for a short wedge, or like for a semi-long putt to make the eagle on this par 5. You will see more people, way more people making birdies and even some pars because of the water than you will see people making albatross here. And this is one of the tough part with White Cliff's course, that you will have a problem dropping, especially the par 5s. For hole number 6, we're gonna go straight forward here in this first option, and when you see the other one, we're gonna go aggressive to the right with a big reward if we make that drive correct. We are going to play with a basic ball once I'm looking around a little bit here on the course, and we're looking to go straight down the fairway. Elevation for the drive is going to be maximum distance plus 20, and we're looking to get, once again, the ball as far down as possible. I would, however, though, recommend to use the Marlin here, as then we could use the side spin to the left to take ourselves away from the bunker even more, and also reduce the need of curl for the drive. I'm using half a ball of curl basically purely because we have no side spin to use, and also to make sure that I'm not going into the rough or into the sand on the right hand side. Getting the ball just down on the fairway is the only thing that I'm looking for the drive. Second shot, I play with a long iron. I'm gonna play in medium distance of our club here. Even though we are close to minimum distance, I'm gonna play medium distance here. The problem we have here when we don't have a good ball guideline is that we're gonna have to guesstimate how fast the ball is gonna come in. And as there is on most of the White Cliff courses, there is a weird way of attacking the pin here, as we're gonna have to bounce in an uphill slope. So if you're using too much backspin here, you will most likely see yourself not even get to stay on the green. The ball will then fall down into the bunker, into the rough, and then you're basically dead. Well, like, not dead. You're gonna have to hit perfect from the sand at least. Just barely missed that one, playing medium distance plus 10. But in the end, this is a tough one. Make sure you're not using too much backspin. Rather back up a little bit and use less backspin to prevent yourself from being unlucky and fall down into the sand. It is a decent chance for a for an eagle, but the option that comes now here next is the one to go with if you're looking to consistently make an eagle. For the second option here, you can see I'm using an extra mile level 6 and a quasar ball. Here we do need to have minimum, and I say absolute minimum, 4.5 bar topspin. I'm using 2 bars of side spin to the right, and here I'm deliberately hitting great to the right. And the reason for that is that I'm not having enough curl on my drive. So the thing that I would recommend you to do is to go with a katana. Unfortunately, I was empty on katanas on this account, so I couldn't play with that ball. We do need all the side spin that we can, and we do need to, with a katana, to go with minimum 3/4 of a ball to the right. So a higher level the rock, you know, maybe even a high level quarterback would be a good thing here if you're going to get the ball over the rough there on the right. The problem we do have with a low level quarterback and the rock is that it does not have the top spin needed to get over there. And the reason we take this shortcut over to the right is to make sure that we have a really good chance for an eagle for the second shot. And that is why we take that risk. So due to having less curl and also not having the side spin needed, then I did hit great right on purpose. Second shot, you can see we are very close to minimum distance, and we're going to then use backspin and ball guideline to the hole. The beauty with this type of shot here is that even though I have a very bad ball guideline on my thorn level 5 and would have on the other short irons as well, is that the ball guideline will still be shown on the green. It's a weird green in that regard, but it's obviously very helpful. Minimum distance minus 20%. Yes, we're playing uphill for this shot, and that shot is gonna be in the hole more times than not. And you know, you can see the difference of the approach shot if we do go right or we go left. So if you can and have the club and the ball to go right, that should be your number one option every single time. Otherwise, you play left and you do your best with your long iron. For hole number 7, we are going to bounce over the bunker and try to get the ball to stop on green. The thing that we do need to have in mind is that the green slopes massively downhill from the pin and back. So if we come in just a little bit hot, we're gonna see the ball roll over the green, or at least roll pretty far on the green, so we are like 10-15 yards away from the pin, which is going to be a difficult putt. I'm using the red ring by the bunker and the rough, and I'm using a side spin to the right as well. I'm adding a little bit of curl, and we're gonna talk about that in just a bit. Medium distance with a 30% over adjustment. Unfortunately, a great left, and that great left did not help, as the further we get to the left, the more the ball is going to fall once we get there. So the ball rolls, you can see how much it rolls even though it doesn't have basically any speed. Sure, this is a putt that we should make, but we definitely need to add some backspin with this shot and make sure we do hit perfect. I do suggest to play with a side spin 2 ball minimum, like the quasar. You can also go to the katana, and the reason for that is that we do not want to use any curl if not absolutely have to. This is one of the tougher par 3s to get some sort of consistency on, because at the area that we are bouncing and the second bounce are bouncing, then there is a lot of, you know, bouncy and glitchy spots on that fairway, so it's very difficult to get any consistency here, but make sure you don't go too long so you struggle making the putt for the birdie. For hole number 8, we're gonna play an easy par 4 when it comes to getting the birdie, but a hard par 4 to get the eagle. I'm going to explain what I mean with that later on. First and foremost, 2.5 bar backspin. I would recommend to use more backspin if you do have the possibility. The more backspin, the more control you will have. And I'm using a power 0 ball in this case. If you do have a headwind or a crosswind, I would recommend to go up at least to a power 2 ball to make sure that you're not gonna go in between clubs and gonna have to use overpower. In this case, we do have tailwind, so we do adjust for a max plus 10, and then we're going to, in that case, push up 1 ring after our adjustment. We're looking to, when we do have 2.5 backspin, to have the first bounce very early on the fairway, and once again, if you have more backspin, you can move further up. In the end though, we're gonna have to get the ball over to this fairway here, as if we do lay up short, we will have a difficult time to reach for the second shot. Second shot is gonna be played either max, mid or min. In this case, we are gonna change from max to mid, as it does become a medium distance here for our second shot. In the end though, once again, that's going to change depending on where you end up on the fairway island. And the difficulty with this one here is now when we are bouncing in this uphill slope, we are going to get a pretty high second bounce, which means that the ball will be affected more by the wind than we normally get. And also, when you do have a tailwind or a headwind, you're going to adjust either from a higher to a lower point or from a lower to a higher point, which is going to be hard to control the distance. And that's why this shot is a tough one, even though it's you know, you have no obstacles whatsoever. So even though it looks pretty straightforward, it is going to be a difficult one to drop all the time, especially for the weird uphill bounce that we're gonna make towards the pin for the second shot. The Sniper with a good ball guideline is the best club to use here, even though I'm using the Viper in this example, but that's because I do have a very low level Sniper. For hole number 9, we're gonna play a very tough par 5, and here we can either go left or we can go right. If you do not have more than, if you do have 4.5 bar topspin, then I would recommend you to go right side, because you do need to have a decent amount of topspin to go on the left side to actually have a shot for the green for the second shot. So here I'm using 2.5 bar backspin and 4.5 bar side spin to the right. I'm aiming for the ball to be in the center of the island there, and it's very, very important that I'm leaving the ball guideline slightly short, because look how much this fairway slopes there in the end. So the further up we're coming, the more the ball is going to roll, and then it's going to be very difficult to get that ball to stop before it goes into the bunker. Trust me, I've done that so many times when trying to get the ball a little bit further up. So make sure that you do play it carefully, because if you go into the rough or into the sand, you have no way, absolute no way to reach for the green in 2. Maximum distance plus 20, and we play with a power 3 ball, and then we're gonna set it up for a big dog shot towards the pin. This is one of the most elevated shots there is in the game. White Cliffs is a course with a lot of, you know, steep shots, and this one we're gonna play maximum distance with a 40% over adjustment here. And the thing that happens when we do have a lot of elevation to account for is that we will be having a tough time to get a consistent outcome. And I'm looking to bounce over the rough and the sand here, using as much left spin possible, also using a little backspin, but the backspin is actually wrong in this case. I misread the situation. Need, you know, a smidge of topspin here. You know, the direction is good, but need that little topspin to get the ball to pin. In the end though, on hole 9, I'm not really looking for an albatross here, especially we're gonna have to play with the big dog, which has like a really bad ball guideline, and there is a lot of risk for missing the eagle by just making a bad drive. So I'm gonna play him conservative, gonna take the eagle and make sure that I'm, you know, having a shot for the albatross, but not expecting anything. Max plus 40 for the approach, max plus 20 for the drive. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with older videos. And the reason I'm using older videos is due to the fact that I want to be able to provide you a playthrough with the best possible shots already before the tournament starts, as the tournament starts already the 24th of September, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that is correct. 24th of September. Make sure you get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get general tournament guides and ultimate tournament guides to get prepared and ready for the 9-hole cup. In the end, the video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.